As Gifty said, there's plenty of football in the way. In less than 24 hours, we'll have the opening ceremony and then kickoff of the FIFA World Cup, the 2018 version in Russia. Of course, Ghana is not there, but there are 5 other African countries in the campaign to win the World Cup for the first time. Welcome to the Sports on Pulse. I'm Gary Al Smith, and today a decision on the host country for the 2026 edition of the tournament was made, also in Russia. It will be the joint hosting, the first time 3 countries will do it. It will be the USA, it will be Canada, and it will be Mexico.
2026 FIFA World Cup. The member associations of Canada, Mexico and USA have been selected by the FIFA Congress to host the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Yes, you heard it right. The World Cup is coming to America in 2026. The winning bid unveiled earlier this morning.
That's how Good Morning America announced the decision. It's been the culmination of a campaign that's sometimes been ruthless and brutal. And in studio with me is Selwyn Saki. In the end, the united bid, as they like to call it, the Mexico-US-Canada bid is called the united bid. They won in a landslide. It wasn't even close, 67% to 33%. Flawless victory.
Well, I mean, I don't see how Morocco thought that they could compete to the united bid. If you look at the countries as a whole, if you look at infrastructure, Morocco were now about to build their stadiums. In the united bid, they had their stadiums and facilities, almost everything ready already, and they just had to make that little touch-ups to be in terms of profits margin to come into the country and what FIFA is also going to get. The united bid were ready to raise 14 million for the bid, and also Morocco had this half of it, which is 7 million. So in terms of all these things, you can tell that it's obvious that the landslide was supposed to happen.
The landslide was supposed to happen. Key notes for our purposes was that Ghana did not have any representative voting because, as you know, after Kwesi Nyantakyi had his issues at the weekend, no member official of the Ghana Football Association was allowed to go. There was one official, Osei-Tutu Ajiman, who was looking forward to being there on behalf of the GFA, but a government warning, if you like, put paid to that. So Ghana was not in the hall at all. There were some other countries that abstained. About 3 countries abstained: Slovenia, Spain, and 1 other country abstained. And we also had Iran voting for none of the countries at all. Togo, who were long thought to be going to be voting for the United States because the US ambassador in Togo gave the Togolese a warning that if they don't vote for them, they are going to cut their aid. They simply rubbished that and voted for Morocco anyway. Now, the interesting thing was, get this, Russia voted for the United States. Wow. Yeah. So we understand that yesterday an order from above came to the Russian delegation that they should vote for the United States and the Canada and Mexico bid as well. To what extent did politics play a role in this, apart from football politics?
Well, I mean, obviously, we've even seen the president of the United States, Donald Trump, tweet that this work is out of hard work and what they've been able to put in. So we can tell that from the Russia bid, where Putin was most involved, we can now tell that there's so much political power when it comes to these bids, because the fact that Donald Trump was quickly about to tweet and show that they've put in a lot of hard work in it, it's so that there's the power from above that was able to give them that.
And it's not just that. According to the information we have as well, many football associations across the world wanted to vote for the Moroccan bid, only for the United States to call their central governments and their presidents and prime ministers to tell them that if you know what is good for you, you are going to vote for us. So that's Donald Trump's tweet. After it happened, he says the US, together with Mexico and Canada, just got the World Cup. Congratulations, a great deal of hard work has been done. So that's in 2026. We have time. Tomorrow, by this time, we'll be beginning the FIFA World Cup 2018 edition. One day more, you can't wait. And you saw that build up and our lineup there. What are we expecting? How far have we gone with preparations here at Joy Sports?
Well, I mean, Joy Sports is ready. Our website is ready. It's on the Joy Sports page with the hashtag joysports.com/World Cup. And we also have our social media, everything ready. Our social media hashtag is Joy World Cup. It's also giving us updates on pre-match, match post-match coaches interviews, the stats and everything. Joy Sports will be ready to provide everything for our fans.
So that will be from, it's already begun. I mean, we started the build-up for a while, but when the tournament really begins, we will be doing that. George Addo Jr. will also be anchoring his show on Fridays. That will be Russia Weekly.
Yeah.
It will be starting on JoyNews, and then Friday 6 to 10. We'll confirm the time for you. But on Saturday there is another version that will be airing on our sister television station, Joy Prime. Here on JoyNews as well, we'll be having a special build-up in terms of programming for the tournament. The final build-up is here. Let's go to the groups finally, and let's see what we should be expecting. Group A begins tomorrow with Russia versus Saudi Arabia. Now, the thing is, when the games are on in real time, we'll be having radio commentary on Joy 99.7 FM, and on Twitter, we'll be giving you live commentary of every game. We'll be giving commentary on as well. So let's see the groups again. Russia versus Saudi Arabia. Russia have not been good at all, have they?
They've never been good. If you look at their preparation, hasn't been tried good. It's unfortunate that they are qualified already because they are hosting, so we didn't see any qualifying range. But their friendly games have been impressive. But Saudi Arabia also, their last game against Germany was quite impressive. They lost 2-1, but the second half of the game they took control and played very well. So I'm telling that they can give the host nation a big experience in the first game. It will be a tough one. We should watch out for that game.
So right now there's nothing on the tables, but tomorrow you can be sure that we'll start seeing numbers there. Group B. There we see some very, very interesting news. Today, the team in the second row, that is Spain, they did something spectacular. Tell us, Owen.
Well, Spain have sacked their manager, Julen Lopetegui.
2 days to the World Cup.
2 days to the World Cup because he signed for Real Madrid without their consent, and which they saw that if you look at the politics in the Spanish national team, there's so much tribalistic over there with the Catalans and the Madridistas and the Basque and all that. Julen Lopetegui has signed for Real Madrid, so the fact that he's a Real Madrid at the moment, it's quite a bit of confusion.
But is that a problem, or because he didn't inform them in time?
He didn't inform them in time, that's a problem. But the political things is also at the back.
Sure.
But the whole thing is that he didn't inform them in time, and they could tell that if he was able to sign for Real Madrid at that time, so the time that he signed the renewal of contract with the Spanish national team, he was still talking to the Madrid team. So they don't see why, if you're talking to the Madrid team, you should sign the contract extension with the national team when you're going to the World Cup. And so it's going to bring a lot of uncertainties to the club. Xavi has also spoken that that was going to affect the team because of the division that they have with the Barcelona players and the Real Madrid players. So if the coach is with one side, it was going to create a lot of confusion. They've taken him out, and they've brought in their sporting director, Fernando Hierro, who's a former Spanish captain and Champions League captain of Real Madrid also, and he's the one going to be taking the Spanish team for the World Cup.
In Spanish, the name Hierro means steel, and they call him the man of steel. If you remember, he used to wear the number 6. He was as cool as ice, and he will be leading Spain to the World Cup now. Interesting, sacking your coach 2 days to the time. And if it were an African team, you would have imagined some of the things they would have said. Anyway, Portugal, they have Cristiano Ronaldo. Morocco, also very organized. And Iran. How does this group fare?
Well, this is a tough group. It's actually spoken as the group of death because we know Portugal, European champions, with the boy they bring in Cristiano Ronaldo. Spain, we have a lot to say about them. Morocco is an interesting one. Heverina, a very good manager in Africa, has done very well. So people want to see what he's going to do against these top managers in the world stage, and the fact that they also have an unbeaten record at the moment. And Iran also have an experienced manager in Carlos Queiroz, who has managed Real Madrid, been an assistant coach under Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United. So Iran has a lot of potential in this.
This looks very, very straightforward on paper. A lot of people will say France should take it with the talent at their disposal. But Australia, the last time they were in the World Cup, they lost 4-0 in their opening game against eventual champions Germany. Will they face a similar test? Peru also massively underrated, but you do so at your own peril. Very, very compact team they have there. And Denmark, of course, not pushovers, but might be a group too far for them.
Of course, you know, Denmark, they have a lot of good players in Europe, and talk about Eriksen, fantastic season at Spurs. A lot of youngsters coming in, Johan Poulsen at Leipzig, also over there. They can also boast of Niklas Bentner, who could possibly be in the team because of his experience over there. And Denmark have a lot of potential. If you look at the young players that are ready to fight for their team, they have a lot of good history in the World Cup, the likes of Michael Laudrup and also there. So definitely they'll be wanting to replicate such history with their national team.
Group D, familiar foes Argentina and Nigeria. This will be the 5th time the two teams will be playing in the World Cup. And as a Nigerian colleague journalist told me, when the draw came, the country collectively said, why us again? Croatia and Iceland complete the set, and by a lot of people reckoning, Argentina and Croatia will go through, but Nigeria may have an ace up their sleeves.
Oh yeah, because of them, the youngsters that they are bringing in, the Wobies in the Premiership, they have so much firepower. They're hoping to prove themselves for their national team. But as you said, Croatia has so much quality in that team. Modric, Rakitic, Kovacic over there in attack, Mandzukic and Perisic, and there's so much talent in European football that they're going to give Nigeria trouble. But Argentina, will also with their problems in how they qualified and not being in form, will be a tricky one also there in that group. 5-time
World Cup winners, Brazil, always the favorite. And favorite to get out of this one. Serbia, you may think that they may not be the best of teams, but this is what the World Cup is about. Switzerland and Costa Rica completes the set, and for me, this is one of the more open groups of the tournament. I mean, literally anything can happen.
Anything can happen. If this Costa Rican team, their qualifying was a bit shocker for them. They surprised a lot of teams to go
the USA to
USA to go
in the final game.
In the final game for them to qualify to the World Cup. So we know what they have in there. They're bringing a lot of potential with their key man, which is Joel Campbell. Serbia also, we know the Europeans are very rigid side. Players like Matic also are also going to be there. The youngsters also coming in. But Brazil, always the favorites to qualify to win the World Cup, and they're also going to give it a test. So generally it's an open group.
If you're talking of favorites, you can't go past the guys up there. Germany, they have a solid team, as they always do. Mexico, Sweden and Korea Republic, another group that is very, very open and will give us a lot of good football.
A lot of good football. You know what Germany brings. You know what Mexico is going to tell you also. Korea Republic also surprised. They have quite key men over there to give us a shot. Son is on form. Is going to be the inspiration for this Korea Republic team. Sweden as well, they dropped Zlatan, but then they also have youngsters that they believe in that could do the job for them. So also another interesting group for us to watch.
England, always qualifying easily. They get to the tournament and things go out of fashion. However, you seem to feel that there's a quiet belief around this English team. They seem, you know, the hype around them is not that much. But if you look at the quality in there, it's a lot of players that have level heads. Tunisia also looking to carry the African flag. Yesterday we interviewed a Tunisian journalist. He told us that they actually think they can get out of this group, despite not having their key player Youssef Insakni there. So that's Tunisia. There's Panama as well, an unknown quantity, and always the star-studded Belgium.
Wow, Belgium also, we know what they have. So much great quality, and everyone is waiting for the Belgium against England game. A lot of premiership over there. But Tunisia also bringing in that potential, very local-based team, but then they have so much belief in doing this because they know that they can take a point from Panama. Hopefully they can take a point from England, but as you said, England has so much belief in them because of the youngsters and what their new manager Gareth Southgate brings in, how they want to play football. It's a new style. We don't know they are going to play the normal rigid football they play, but they believe that this system is going to work for them.
Attacking firepower, Senegal have it in abundance, but will they be much of a unit going into Group H, where we have Colombia, beautiful football always, and a talented squad, but do they have a deep squad enough? Japan, who have not fared well in their friendlies leading to this, Ghana of course beats Japan, and Poland in there led by Robert Lewandowski.
Wow. And the last game they played with, we beat Lithuania 4-0. We saw that Poland are ready to score goals. But as you mentioned, Senegal, the individuals, great talents, but then how are they going to work as a unit? It's going to be difficult, but they have a great manager who's going to make sure that he's going to instill discipline in that team and make sure that they do very well. Colombia as well, great much talent over there, so much skill, great players in Europe. James Rodriguez is definitely going to be the inspiration, but how they're going to sail through in this group, Japan is also going to be waiting for them, but we've not seen Japan perform in their preparations.
So, that's the final World Cup build-up on the Pulse. We've done it for about 2 weeks now. Are you ready, and who is your money on? Join the Joy Sports team. Our social media is open to you anytime you want. And just a reminder of the team that you should be following on the Joy Sports team. Thank you very much, Selwyn.
Anytime.
And thank you for joining us. The news continues. I'm Gary Al Smith.